The interior of Nrasa is Vunadoi community. For years, families of this rural community have been living without proper facilities and sanitation. The Women's Club have taken ownership in improving their lives by facilitating the installation of flush toilets with assistance from the Foundation for Rural Integrated Enterprises and Development.
In a rural setting, there's a lot of sicknesses that come up with the rural setting because of poor hygiene, poor sanitation. So with the flush toilet, it ensures us that good sanitation is promoted, and what do I say? Prevents all these other sicknesses like diarrhea and stuff like that, especially for the kids.
Iliu kema maba pit toilet tu. No sarau mana flush toilet kema saba bilunak. Kema sandu na bisa ulewi kema kema sa bangatang na flush toilet.
Facilitating the project has been a challenge for these women, given the location of their homes in the interior.
Our houses are very much far apart, so the big challenge is firstly when the things came in, the flush toilets. The road, as you can see, is not in a good condition, so we had to unload the things from the main road, and my husband and other guys, the other youth group, they had to get the stuff to our place, and then because we had a checklist there for everyone who had a flush toilet, so to our place. Then from there, whoever was supposed to have their flush toilet done, they had to get their stuff from our place to the individual home. So the distance was a big problem.
Most of these women are full-time housewives and have been empowered through the financial training by FRIEND and USB.
Kaba kay labo o kenda na marami sarang kenda ni marone sona labo rani bulaki na bubale tuwa na kasona ka sabuli dirawa ke mam sa rani kemay buli bale bumekina pambimbi na kaba labo ni kenda anduar ni marone labo membulaki na bubale.
The Vunadoi Women's Club have also taken a lead role in ensuring a healthier lifestyle for their families and community. This has included healthier diets for their families, sustainable and organic farming.
For us here at Vunadoi, most of us are just normal housewives. So our source of income is just farming, and whatever we farm in our backyards, we take it up to the market and sell it in the market. So like with the training from friends, like for example the organic farming training that we went through, it had given us a few good ideas about what we can use, the available resources that we could use in our farms to promote healthy living. So as you can see, now before we used to depend on noodles, the processed foods, noodles and tuna, but now after the training from friends, we have learned that all those processed foods are a big contribution to the sicknesses that we have now. So when we went back home, we tried to adopt that whatever we've learned, like just cooking the normal vegetables that we have in our backyard. And as well as the things that we plant. Like before, we used to buy the fertilizers and stuff from the supermarkets, so that's like costly. So when we went to friends, they've taught us some techniques that we could use that would save our money for other things, other needs for the family. We used to buy the processed food because the influence of media, I would say, and the taste. But then coming to know what those tastes could contribute to in 10 years' time, then it just changed our view on buying those kind of things. Stopped us from buying it, and then just to depend on whatever we plant in the backyard.
Apart from being project leaders in their community, these women have also juggled their family commitments with their community service.
We are mothers of a family, so we also had our own family chores. Apart from this project, we had to come back home and do our normal house chores. So yeah, that was a big challenge, but we're thankful that our husband are quite supportive towards this the project that we were doing.
And being involved in implementing their community project, which was the installation of flush toilets, and undergoing financial training has been a whole new experience for these women.
For me personally, I don't have that knowledge of that financial keeping and all. So with friends, we've learned how to manage money wisely. Like for example, as Fijians, we would just take any large sum of money and just spend it unwisely without even shopping around. So with this project, it has taught us on shopping wisely. So for this project, we had to get 3 quotations from 3 hardwares. So, and then from those quotations, then we picked out which one was the most cost effective. Because initially we were supposed to do 12 toilets, but then the funding that was given did not meet the 12 toilets. So we ended up with 8 toilets. So with that 8 toilets, with partnership with friends and USP, they had taught us how to manage that money to meet the 8 toilets and how to record all the financial things that we did. So I would like to thank on behalf of the Women's Club, thank friends and European Union for funding us with this project.
In an effort to promote environmental sustainability, Drasa Primary School have invested in a nursery. This is part of their Reduce, Reuse and Recycle program introduced in 2016. Currently, 347 students are enrolled in this school.
We have so much waste, like empty milk packets that children consume, class 1. They are drinking milk every day. So we have empty milk packets and then we need to recycle them. This is part of 3R. And we have also containers and PET bottles. So what we thought, if we have a nursery, then we'll be able to prepare our own seedlings and use that. Firstly, it will recycle the material. Secondly, we'll have enough seedlings for our gardening purpose. And we have enough land to create more gardens.
This compost is divided in 4 sections. First, the children come and throw all these grass and other wastes in this first section. And as this first section is full, this first section is transferred to the next section to decompose. What is done in the next section? In this section, we fill the soil on top of the grass and then we water it. And after a while, as it gets decomposed, then we change this one and we shift it to the third section. Same process happens there. There we don't put soil, we just water it now and then so that it gets really refined. And the fine grains then goes in the last section. That is our 4th section. And from there, I use the compost for our seedling. And that is the compost we'll be using in our nursery for the seedling. And those seedlings then we'll be using in our gardens. So basically all this is organic and we are not using any chemical, any sprays in our vegetable gardens. And we are all doing organic materials. So basically that's what we are doing with this compost. All the seedlings, which costs a lot of money for us. And that is basically the plan for us to build.
Assisted by Fran, the school committee members have applied what they learned in the financial training to the school nursery project.
As far as money matters, it's very important and very essential to keep accountability and transparency in record keeping. So we have, from day one, we have kept records. As soon as we received the funds, we have taken the quotations, 3 quotations from the different hardwares, and then we have purchased materials, we have received the invoices and the receipts and payments, and all the records are in the file in the office, and the original copy goes to friends because they are also closely monitoring our project and they will be auditing our project. So we are keeping our record, and at the same time friends is keeping their record.
The school plans to generate income through the sale of fresh produce from their nursery.